Hey, okay, I'm recording this in response to Venom Fang X's video where he talks to the girl about objective morality. Well, sort of to her. But I'm going to try to make this as general as I can, so I'm not specifically addressing Venom Fang X. I think that would make this the difference between just one of those Venom Fang X replies and just an independent video about this subject. Okay, so the subject is objective morality, and whether it exists or not. Now, in Venom Fang X's video, here I go addressing Venom Fang X, but anyway, in Venom Fang X's video, he seemed to advocate, well, of course he obviously advocated, that there is an objective code of morality that we all have to adhere to, or should adhere to, if we are to be moral people. And whenever the girl, whoever she was, mentioned the Bible, because we know that Venom Fang X sees the Bible as having, or holding, or whatever, having the objective morality written in it, every time she mentioned it, he wanted to kind of separate his idea of objective morality from it. But you can't really do that, because we know that generally Christians only believe in an objective morality because it says so in the Bible. They didn't come to that conclusion and then become Christians. And, I think that's the case with Venom. But then again, maybe I'm off here. Maybe people do become Christians because they think that the things they have done were wrong and they want to stop doing them. Maybe it's kind of an escape. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. They see Christianity as an escape from a way of thinking that caused them to do things that they felt were wrong. Rather than adjust their own moral code, they decided to just completely abandon it and adopt someone else's. And not just anyone else's, but a very ancient one that is demonstrably unnecessary in modern times. Now, I'm going to drudge up a very old argument, an old case here of Hitler. And it is fairly common knowledge that he felt what he was doing was not only not wrong, but right. He and his followers all believed that killing Jews and all the people who they saw as being unfit was what they should be doing, was what their God wanted them to do. Maybe Hitler himself was just using the religion, but there were people under him who truly believed that it's what their God wanted them to do. And if they hadn't been doing it, they'd be doing something wrong. On a smaller scale, we can look at the Bible and the story of Abraham and Isaac, where he took them up to the mountain to sacrifice him. He thought that his God wanted him to kill Isaac, and so he was totally willing to do that. And unlike the Nazis, he didn't even know why God wanted him to do this. He was just going to do it. He didn't care why. So if you ask me, there was more sense in what the Nazis were doing than what than what Abraham was doing. Which is not to say that I think that it was right for the Nazis or for Abraham, just that at least with the Nazis, they had sort of an explanation. They kind of knew why they were doing what they were doing. Hitler explained it to them. He was wrong, but it was, that's kind of what I'm talking about here. I think he was wrong. Was he wrong objectively, though? Well, just because I think something's wrong doesn't mean it's objectively wrong. I mean, Venom said it himself. What is right and wrong has nothing to do with our feelings. And when people criticize someone like Hitler, they're using their emotions to decide why they think it's wrong. Because you can't say that Hitler was wrong to kill people, but that Joshua was wrong to fight the Battle of Jericho and kill everyone there. Or any of the other stories of Abraham being told to take his army to various places and wipe out entire tribes of people. Or even for Yahweh himself flooding the entire earth and killing everybody. If Hitler said that his God wanted him to do something, it is no more wrong objectively than someone in the Bible going and doing the same thing. Christians like to say that subjective moral values lead to atrocities, but objective moral values can be easily seen to do the same thing, if not even worse. 9/11 was a case of objective moral values. And that's probably something that's going to be dredged up in conversations and arguments and debates for the next 10,000 years, just like Hitler and Stalin and all that. But that's just the way it is. And honestly, they are good cases where you can argue about morality and things like that. I mean, these are the worst cases of what most see as immorality, and probably the best examples of morality actually being subjective. The case for objective morality hinges completely on the veracity of the Bible. So you cannot divorce morality from the Bible. You can't discuss objective morality without discussing the Bible, because it is the only justification for it, and it's pretty bad justification, as I just demonstrated. Now, to discuss Venom's actual position on it, or how I see it, it seems to me that if he sees something as wrong, he's decided that it is wrong. Even, he gets his ideas supposedly from the Bible, although anyone who's read more than a couple pages of it knows that it's very contradictory. Some things that it says are wrong, it later on presents as something that was right to do, and so it's really impossible to measure. But let's assume that he does get his idea, or get his morality from the Bible, and that he follows it, whatever he interprets it to be. Obviously, he thinks his interpretation is right, otherwise he would change it. People doing things that he feels are wrong, to him, are examples of why his morals are right and theirs are wrong. But in order to convince someone that what they're doing is wrong, I think I actually gave away the thing that I was just trying to say. In order to get someone to agree with your moral standard, you have to convince them that theirs is wrong. That's what I meant to say. And if you are a Christian, and you are trying to convince someone that something they were doing was wrong, such as being gay, the only thing you can do is show them the Bible. And what does that really prove? Nothing. You cannot convince someone intellectually that what's written in the Bible is true, because there is no evidence for it. You have to rely on the fact, or the hope, that they were taught, just like you were, from a very young age, that the things in the Bible are true, or just about the Bible in general. The Bible has to be a big part of that person's life, whether they historically in their lives believed in it or not. They have to have grown up with the stories, otherwise it's just Greek to them. But I suppose you could point to things in the Bible that are supposedly prophecies, many of which really aren't, and that have seemed to have come true, but even then you have to explain to them how it came true, and it all gets very complicated. Of course, the more complicated it gets, the more advantage a smart guy like you will be able to take of them, because you could tell them and give them the spin of what you want them to get. So there are a lot of opportunities for manipulation on the part of the Christian. And is that wrong? Do you find that to be wrong? I hope so. But if you were convinced of Christianity by tricks, then any attempts you make to convert someone else are going to be tricks as well. And so in order for you to even go by your own standard of morality as far as honesty goes, you owe it to yourself to find out the real truth behind everything. You have to take a good hard look in the mirror and in the Bible and look at it from all perspectives, believers and non-believers. You need to go to evilbible.org or just look up failed Bible prophecies and challenge the assertions that people make that what you see as evidence for the Bible's truth is actually not. Maybe you've already done this. I doubt it though, because if you really have, you wouldn't be a Christian anymore.